I'm now going to take some time to address code formatting and explain how we can align the dots when doing some method chaining. So what happens when we do group by is that it tends to create very long lines of code, and it's generally not good to have very long lines of code, just as a general rule. So instead of having a single very long line of code, we can break this up into, we can place the code on multiple lines and do so by breaking up the code whenever there is a dot. So whenever we're calling a new method and we're chaining a new method, we'll just place it on a new line and then align the dots like such so that it becomes a little bit easier to read. So you can see here, all right, we're going to do a group by, then we're going to aggregate, then we're going to round, reset the index, and then get the head. So let me show you how this works in practice. So usually ahead of time, you don't know exactly what you're going to do and how the code will work. But as you're going through this one line, it can become more apparent. So here, let's just do our grouping of department, and we'll aggregate salary, maybe make the mean salary like this. So we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing as our group by aggregation. So that is fine. So here it is, group by aggregation. But then we say, all right, we want to round this to the nearest thousand. Okay, that is good. And then maybe we don't want the department in the index, so we call dot reset index like this. And then maybe there's too many groups and we just want to take the head, so just the first three over here. This is just an example to show you that you can put a lot of code on one line and it may become a little bit easier to read. Sometimes it'll just go way over the border, so it's definitely just way too long. So in order to do this, you can line up the dots like this on it. So every method that you chain, you can line up. Now, this is incorrect syntax. If you try to run this, we're going to get an error. What you have to do is wrap everything in parentheses. This is because we have not escaped the end of the line. You're not within any parentheses or any sort of delimiter over here, or sorry, any sort of like brackets or square braces like that. So what we're going to do is just create these parentheses, which don't do anything to the code except allow us to go on multiple lines. So that's just a Python syntax rule. And then we can place every method on a new line. And when we do that, it's best to align the dots so you can see exactly what is happening. That's just a better way of, or a different way of writing the code. So this is purely for formatting and ease of read as a human being. It does not affect the code whatsoever. Python still interprets the code in the exact same manner. So you'll be seeing more of this in this group by chapter, just because there's so many things to do in group by, and there'll be a lot of methods chained together like this. So this is just one simple example of method chaining. We're going to see a lot more of that, and when we do so, we will align the dots, put parentheses at the beginning and end, which allows us to write on multiple lines.